CFR Network, CFR Sports. Welcome back. Good day, good night, all. Special guest with me, superstar at the moment, for all the wrong reasons of sorts, but I have a well-rounded WMMA fighter with me. Introduce yourself, mademoiselle. I won't even introduce you. You introduce yourself.
Well, hi guys. It's cool to be on a platform in the United Kingdom or UK, right?
Yes.
I am Brittney Elkin, and I just recently fought Clarissas Shields this past Thursday.
And you don't look too badly scathed based upon the very last few minutes.
Oh yeah, I definitely took a lot of hits. I have some soft spots in the temples, and I have some soft spots. Actually, she ended up giving me a new cauliflower ear, which
Wow.
I haven't had a new cauliflower ear in years, and you probably can't see it, but the internal of my ear, I got a nice little
Swollen a bit,
a little
yes.
one in there. No, I came out pretty unscathed. I'm very lucky. And it was funny because her camp made a comment that how could Brittney do this many punches and not hurt her? And I was like, well, she didn't hurt me either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just we're both lucky that we didn't get
It's
damaged.
all relative. It's all relative. And let me just tip my hat to you, mademoiselle.
Thank you.
Dominated, a 3-division boxing champion. I know obviously mixed martial arts, combat sports, it's apples and orange in regards to just one specific skill set. But
Yeah.
your performance was very good, in my opinion. I think the gods of sorts was on her side to allow her to, she had a lot of heart. She showed a lot of grit, determination.
I lost. I feel I did a great showing, and I in the first round, if you rewatch the fight, you'll almost see me take the same overhand because I've watched the fight 100 times.
Yeah.
There was a fight that I keep saying she throws an overhand in the first round, and I swear to God, I smelt that overhand. It was so close to my nose and head. If it was in a boxing glove, it would have connected.
Yeah.
And that overhanded, I made a mental note, like that has a lot of power in it. And I think I believe that's what hit me in the third and gave me the days,
Yes.
So
100%.
That's how I feel. It sucks because I was dominating her, and I feel like I had more in me, and I only had to make it a couple more minutes. But...
No, how does that make you feel? As an athlete, like...
Oh, there's an incredible amount of emotion behind it. Like, it's more than just getting your hand raised. It's like, you have 15 minutes to broadcast what you've been working on for 15 years,
yes.
And I feel like, man, I did a great 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then those last 5 matter,
yes.
And we saw that, and what I'm happy about is I had a wonderful performance.
Yes, no one can deny that.
Yeah, what I'm sad about is I gave away the fight in the end. The truth hurts, but yeah, she won.
Yeah. Would you? I think they've built, obviously, 0-0, but 1-0 now versus your record, which is a lot more sort of extensive. But I think they could run that back.
I mean, come on. I think that as long as both of us stay hungry and stay in the sport, they'll do a rematch. We watch rematches a lot, Sometimes the rematch is kind of fun. Sometimes they can be boring. It depends on the fight. I think that me and Clarissa would be a great rematch. I think that if that comes to like a fruition or like comes out one day, they're gonna really build it up.
Yes.
It'll be like Brittney and Clarissa too, and then we get a 3, maybe. You know what I mean? So,
well, you'd need to have the upset. You'd need to have the major upset for the part 2. But
oh, that's BS.
I can't believe she did that. But I would say, the position and the domination that you had was excellent. I think you could have
I think I wanted to just mention to the fans that maybe I haven't got my voice to yet. In the New Jersey Commission of the rules that we were under, elbows weren't legal.
Oh.
So I do believe that if elbows were a weapon that could be used, I could have had a different outcome. The fighter always looks for an excuse to have a better outcome. But I wonder, my question is, if the rule set changed again in like a round 2, what would bring to the table new rules, So
was that specifically for your bout, or was that for all of the
no,
bouts that night?
oh, sorry about a little background noise. I'm outdoors.
All good, all good.
No, it wasn't. We were definitely told it wasn't allowed in our bout, and I'm not sure if it was a Jersey Commission rule in general, but it was a PFL rule for the tournament, and it extended to our bout that elbows from standing or elbows in the ground and pound were not legal. Knees standing, knees on the ground, not to the face, were legal, just not the bows.
Oh, that takes my question away. I was going to say, I thought a bit more punishment from the top guard could have been sort of unleashed on the GWOATs.
Oh, trust me, everybody's like, why would you punch a boxer? And my answer to that is, those are the weapons I was allowed to have. Under rule, you can blame anything. The rule said, I agreed on, I signed the contract. I knew those weren't legal from the beginning of the bout, but a lot of people have questioned me how stupid I am to not try an elbow. And I think somebody from our camp stated the claim, it's crazy, Brittney didn't do one lick of damage from that position. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not really bruised either. But those kind of things, just a little note, they were not allowed.
Definitely. And one other thing I would have said, and I know you tested it out a little bit, but those leg kicks, I'm sure she wouldn't have been too primed for especially the old calf kick, which is so popular.
These were like a whole game plan. The leg kicks I wanted to be better at. Again, I was retired before this fight, so I sparred 5 hard times before this bout.
Wow.
And everything else was a technical spar. So we used what weapons were best successful in this, and my leg attacks in this moment were best used to keep distance and reach to I'm paying attention to this toe truck.
Don't worry about it, lass.
But me and my coach just said, like, hey, you got some solid kicks and you have long legs, and we don't want to throw punches at her face because that sets up her punches to mine. She's very accustomed to being punched at, right? Let's throw something different. And we had a lot of success with the kicks. Like, am I a Muay Thai champion that'll get a head kick knockout? But can I keep a reach away from her so I can set up my game? Yes. And that was our game plan, is like, these long ass legs are going to pose a threat, and we're going to show them a lot. And so, if there's a rematch in round 2, maybe she'll expect me to just use them as like a game planning tactic for distance, or maybe they'll be a little more threatening and damning. But they worked out well to set up my game.
100%. So again, from CFR Sports, congratulations to both the athletes, not just Clarissa, who obviously got the win, but for both. It takes a lot of determination, heart, and all the rest of it, courage to even just step in and compete.
It really does. I mean, think that, like, if we break down, I actually was evaluating Clarissa's mentality because we crossed paths in the hallway about 4 times because it's a made-for-TV production, right? And you got to think what was going through her head before then. I was a girl that, I mean, I know I lost. Like, there's enough haters to tell me how terrible I am at everything, But we were crossing paths. They were filming her. They were filming me. They do this for TV. A lot of people don't realize not all these moments are in the moment.
Yes.
And so she saw me. I saw her. She saw me. So I saw her. We made eye contact in the back room. And there were times that I could assure you that I witnessed her questioning what was going to happen. Not saying that I witnessed fear, or not saying I assume anything, but I had to even get in my head and say, what was my first MMA fight like,
Yes.
And I think she was expecting me to be scared of her because in boxing she has so much
aura,
Yeah. And she's achieved a lot in boxing. So I think she was looking for fear in my eyes. And when I showed her, like, dude, bitch, I fight, man. And like she did too. These aren't words of these are just saying what happened, you know?
Well, we saw it from the press conference, how relaxed she was, and you were like, you know, she can talk all that stuff, but we gotta do stuff in the cage.
Well, she was so telling me how much I sucked at everything, and now it's actually personally funny. We have made lighthearted comments back and forth to I think like compliments of a professional sport we've made in humor online, right?
Okay.
So we're humorly accepting that both of us are professionals now. But it's funny to me how terrible she made and displayed me to be, which is part of the game. I'm not stupid. But now she's like, Brittney's tough. And it's like, before, what if you beat me? Would you have said you just beat a lousy fighter, or would you said you beat a tough fighter? What makes it better for her? I don't know. She's learning. But I was not going to be a fucking easy fight. I promise that.
And you proved it. You proved it. You was all the way. I was thinking, shit, when are you going to take her out? What's going on? This is going to be a big upset.
She's really strong too. Like everybody's like, brown belt, you piece of pussy. You know, they have all these horrible things me about how I should have got her in a submission. Truth was, I didn't want to go stand back up. I wasn't going to risk something to stand back up. I was doing my work. I wanted to win. I was being tactical. I was trying. I mean, you always want to be exciting, but we had a couple of words. You say a couple of goals. I say a couple of goals in the back room right before I get out there. One goal. If she's going down, she ain't getting up.
Yes.
Right. So these were things I didn't put myself in vulnerable positions because she definitely beat me on standing. Right. Like if we broke it down.
Yes.
I mean, she may have not have won in those moments, but she could have very easily, much easier, you know? And so that was my number one rule. If we go down, we ain't getting up.
Yeah.
You know, or if you get away, you're getting not that away. Those are like where I kept my goal sets, right? I didn't dive on submissions. We had a minute call. My loud coach, you would often hear him do a time call, and we had a rule at a minute we could start preparing submissions. At 30 seconds go, right?
Okay.
Because very, very rarely, even if she scrambles up in 30 seconds, is she gonna fuck me up so bad I can't get up, right?
Yes.
So we were like a minute search, or you'll hear him do a 90-second call, so that I started searching for things, right? And these were our calls to cue me that if it's there, take it. If it's not, let's go into another round and let's go to the scary forest. So those were our calls that we were looking for. When I went for that armbar, I can't figure out why it didn't work. I keep on watching it. I'm like, why did I let that go? I don't know if I let it go. It slipped, or God. I've seriously eaten my
That's when I thought it was done. Brittney, at that specific moment, I thought, here we go.
God,
here's the upsets.
I am controversial in my beliefs, but I told people I'm gonna revisit that mentality under the influence so I can understand what conversation went through my head, because I don't know why I let go of that armbar. You know, these things eat me alive. Of course, the internet eats you alive, but like personal performing standards, I don't have an explanation for that point. I don't know if she slipped or if I let go. Damn it. You know?
It looked like a combination of both, to be fair. It looked like she was almost out and you were like, you know what, I'm not gonna hold on to this.
I think that I can't get in. I'm probably gonna have to microdose about it, but I can't get in my brain conversation. I'm just scraping the surface of what I was thinking in those moments, and this is how I revisit my fights. I might be crazier than others, but I converse with myself the entire time, right? And I'm trying to talk or revisit that conversation of why I let go, and it's an empty window. I just don't know. It's a bothersome moment because I was tight. So, I mean, she won. Wow, we're gonna be talking about this in every fight I take next.
Yeah. Well, so talking about that, what are PFL saying? Well, what are the plans?
Nobody's offered me anything. I assume they're giving me the weekend because I'm like excited as fuck. I'm like, who am I fighting next?
Yes.
You know, I always get an extreme challenge. I don't like give me fights, so I don't want somebody like just to fight. You know, I obviously fighting is fun. Everybody's a challenge. I'm not trying to pretend I'm better than anybody. I want to take a risky fight that makes a better fight. Having a challenge makes everything better. This fight is my best performance of my career. And yeah, I just don't want to go backward, even if I lost, you know. I just want great performances. So
and in regards to the weight division, is that something you've always competed in 155, or have you been on 45er?
I was so I'm 5'11". I walk around about 180, and I used to compete in 145 for 10 years. When they opened up the 155 to more of an option, I changed because I always say my soul weighs 10 pounds.
Easily.
And it leaves when I'm 145. I you know, everybody thinks I make these weights easy. I shouldn't say everybody. All my fans are like, wow, Brittney's really good at being in shape. And it's like, yeah,
you work at it. We can see that, you know, you're not just waking up and rolling out of bed and looking like how you're looking. You're putting in some work.
Yeah. And I mean, I am much more confident at 55. I'll never fight 45 again. I really won't. You'll see me die in the cage, I think, because it's just not an option anymore. That's why I think I have such a bad record, is I took so many 45 fights for so long. And I think I have now Kayla Harrison, Kola Shippentower, Bailey was a 45 or 55, excuse me. I think one of them, Amanda Bell was both 45. And this one was a 55. So now I'm starting to I have 4 or 5 55s under my belt. But I had screaming, terrible 45 performances and not doing it.
I guess through experience and through age, you're realizing that I mean, I speak to fighters all the time, and I'm still confused. I understand why the weight cutting's done. I understand the competitive edge and stuff, and to get to a certain division, if you stay at your natural weight class and try and compete there, the people there are cutting 40, maybe even 50 pounds to get down to your natural weight. So I get the weight cutting, but I think promotions as a whole, as one championship are doing, I think they need to move more towards, okay, let's weigh you, you know, eat twice a year kind of thing, and you commit to a division and you stick to that kind of thing.
I have so many mixed feelings about it. I think that what you really need to be personally accountable is nobody tells you what weight class you fight in, and that you have to test your body. I have too many notebooks, but I have a notebook of performance that I carry around. I'm also loony bins, right? But I have a notebook of performance testing, like what did I weigh that day? And then I do my, we do have 2.5 hour pro rolls or something like that, which is a lot of, you know, that's just your class, what it's called. But I have a lot of serious work that I put on with performing artists that are just at the top of their game. And I always make a note of how I felt at that weight, what I was eating that day. And when I left, I live right outside of Times Square in Manhattan. So I have a 30 block walk through Manhattan after my professional role. And I love to take that walk so I can revisit, how did I do against, you know, this guy? How did I do against this champion? And then I like to evaluate how tired I am when I'm after, and how did I feel after? Because even though I'm out of practice, is your recovery of your body, and I don't know. I like I said, nuts. But I have.
Where do you roll at? Is it at Gracie's or?
Oh, that's my pro roll at Unity. I go to 10th Planet Finishers.
I thought you might be going there.
That's the Finishers MMA where Grace goes. Grace Woodrum. You know, Grace is exactly the hype train that she is made out to be. She is tough. She is a smaller body. You always are in threat of her. I think the other day we were doing an EBI rule set, and this was maybe 3 weeks ago because I haven't rolled with her in the extension of my end of camp. She had me in a triangle armbar, and I outweigh Grace Probably around 80 pounds.
80?
I don't know. She's a tiny girl. She's probably like 115, 120, and I'm probably not 80. That's my big girl exaggeration.
Yeah.
She's a smaller girl, is all I'm saying. And she's attacking. And when you get out of her triangle, you're now in a, different submission. And like for 10 minutes, you're under attack, and I'm trying to learn from great minds like Grace, because when she's doing that to me, I'm like, bitch, this bitch I'm going against ain't got no fucking chance. That Kimura's hiding underneath, that triangle's hiding, that underneath that's hiding. And I think rolling with champions like them and them putting me in these jeopardizing positions makes me want to do it to somebody else. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get you, bitch.
Well,
so
it's if you can hang, for 10 minutes without getting tapped more than say 5 times, then against a novice, you're gonna be like supremely confident.
Yeah, I felt confident when I was in control with Clarissa. I just didn't want to get bucked off or stood up,
And with her strength, which she did a few times, she was able just to use raw sort of strength to get out.
She was just using, I think, raw primitive strength, and it was strong enough. You know? Damn it!
Yes, onwards and upwards. I know we've got limited time, so
yeah, I better go. I got my sister with all the kids inside, and we're inside a mall. I just had a better plan around the other time that I just thought I think it was just a confusion of time.
Don't worry. All good. Listen, throw your social medias out, and this is a nice little teaser for the part 1.
Yeah, little teaser. We'll come back. We'll touch.
Yes.
We'll pour some gravy on the potatoes later.
Exactly.
I have all the social platforms. I've changed everything to Brittney Elkin MMA on Instagram, Twitter, and all the ones that you would find me on a discussion board. I don't ever use Twitter, so any troll that wants to talk to me, please use that. I use Instagram often, so if you have a question, I do try to answer, especially now. I'm kind of having fun with this. I do answer.
And I like your attitude. I can imagine the grief you've been getting online. And I love that you're letting it roll off your back, mademoiselle.
Thank you. I've been getting everything from McDonald's applications to go shoot yourself in the street, bitch. And I'm just like, wow, people like me. But it's kind of funny because I also am getting like people like Chris Cyborg wrote me, and people like Rose has been a friend of mine a long time, reached out to me personally. So I have a very balanced scale of, controversy.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, that's what makes a great fight, is a bunch of opinions telling you that, whatever. But we have a lot to talk about. You can find me. I'll respond better on Instagram, and I don't use Facebook other than to make sure my grandma and grandpa know that I'm alive. So I think the best platform to get a true response from me is on Instagram. Perfect. And other than that, you can try, but I may not be the alert.
This is it. And I will make sure I have links below in the description. Make sure you go over to Brittney's Instagram page. Be nice, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most definitely share.